Brandon, I think you accurately hit on, some of the lessening of the comedy as we head into season three. And one thing that struck me was, where are we at on comedies? Like, can we do comedies anymore? Like, everything insults everyone. Like, I know we stand up comedy. We're going through like this major high profile spotlight stuff with some of the big name comedians, that kind of thing. When's the last time you saw a great comedy, or you were like, where are we at on comedies in your opinion?
What comedy? We don't have any comedy on TV.
Or even in film. Like, I mean, I was going back and I was saying, well, it seems like, I know we got The Hangover. It was like vulgar and over the top humor and things like that.
That's been over 10 years ago.
Right. And then you have a few of these things where it become like this big derivative thing about how there's just nothing there. Like, I don't understand. Like, can we have comedies? And I really got into this, and Megs, maybe you'll laugh at me, over the weekend because I was left alone to my own devices for a few minutes, and I watched back-to-back Mel Brooks movies.
Oh, hey. Hey, but those are the things that, we all knew and loved and laughed at, and we actually, could enjoy ourselves watching those types of movies. So it's all good.
Yeah. It's just, I'm just sort of in shock that it's just sort of out there. So Awesome was popped in here. So Awesome One doing okay. Awesome. Popular Pops. Always a new nickname with Awesome One. I love it. I think White Salsa, which was my hybrid of his version of what he said about me. So that's my version. Troy says, Deadline had an article last month about an indie film from Michael A. McRae, a cancel culture drama called My Time's Up. Now, that could prove interesting if we're mocking cancel culture, because that is the goal. That is the Mel Brooks film. Like, it's the cancel culture mockery that needs to happen, and then it would make sense.
I think that's what we need. We need something that can mock all of this nonsense that's out there to kind of, I think people are just too tensed up over everything, and maybe that's part of the problem. And we need a comedy that makes fun of it to be able to break that tension, to say, okay, let's all go back to normal now.
Maybe. Ironcatcher, you bring up a good point, and it's funny because you say this. I didn't have this sort of in my notes or my thoughts on how to have this conversation about comedic movies. And he says the last real comedy was Tropic Thunder. Marvel movies changed the landscape of Hollywood. So I want to bring this up because my wife, when we were trying to pick movies over the weekend, it was interesting because we, on our digital platform, we had the selection for genre. We hit comedy. And we both sat there like dumbfounded, like, okay, this movie might have a few jokes in it, but why is it being called a comedy? So I was trying to pull the list up as we were doing that. So do you think, Brandon, I mean, where are we at on, do you agree with Ironcaster's assessment? Like, Marvel's partly to blame with some of this? I'm not sure I disagree. I'm not sure I agree. I just...
partially. It did change what comes out during the summer months, or what gets, how many of these are made per year. We were having maybe one every year and a half, 2 years, to 2 a year, to now 3 a year, and sometimes even more. And then all the crap that they shovel on Disney Plus, and the potential crap that could be coming from Warner Brothers. It doesn't surprise me, but yeah, I can't think of the last truly great comedy movie that was a comedy and not a mixture, not a rom-com, none of that. I can't think of any. And the last few times that I do remember seeing a comedy on TV that I did sit down and watch, yeah, they were canceled. They were either put on in the summer, only had the 10 episodes, and then unceremoniously canceled. So
this is from my comedy list on my platform. I did it by release year, so this is the most recent stuff. It has Ghostbusters Afterlife, Fat Man, which is a Mel Gibson Christmas movie, Scoob, with a little Scooby-Doo cartoon movie,
that
Onward, Sonic the Hedgehog, Jumanji, Addams Family. These are the kind of things that are on here. And then the filters include things like Truman Show was on the list. And like Lost Boys was on the list. I'm like, what on earth?
What?
We've lowered the bar of comedy. I'm not saying they're only listed as a comedy. They're probably cross-listed into other categories. But we're so desperate to pretend that comedies exist, that we're just making stuff that has some jokes in it a comedy? That doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, at that level of
What's-
cut criteria, you would put a lot of the Marvel movies in there.
They probably are listed if I scrolled through long enough.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Awesome. You're absolutely right. Like you're tuning into FNT, Comic Skate stuff, Yellow Flash, because just to have some laughs and some fun, right? We're looking for genre stories and humor and just cutting up and doing that kind of stuff. So I couldn't agree more. Like that's literally why we're doing it, right? I'm tuning in especially for FNT because I want to see what genius Perry Chan has done this week. So people are demoralized. Keeping up with morale in these times is extremely important. Well, yeah. And all I do is mock people. Don't give me ideas. Well, listen, bro, you bring it. You bring it. You have to hurt me. Adam Sandler also had a string of less than stellar comedies. Jack and Jill comes to mind. No, Adam Sandler is a hit and miss thing. Usually, it's every so often. And I don't know. It is tricky. He'll admit that too. He just does. He admits it. So,
but he still does it. That's the thing with him is he doesn't give up on it. He keeps going back to that well. Although his most recent outing is not to necessarily a comedy, but more of a drama setup, and I guess he's really good at it. So,
yeah, The Hustle is something that's new, and people are praising. I got told about it this last week or so about watching that, and I know he did Uncut Gems, and that was praised as well. Neither of which I've seen yet, but started with Obama pushing the racism stuff, and slowly comedy shows on Netflix and elsewhere started disappearing. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Tom Conkle said he might work with Mel Gibson in a sci-fi comedy. I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. I wouldn't say no.
Pacific saying that he's I'm down.
Yeah. Right? And I'm not playing.